Prayer, dua, is the name of the voice and speech rising from man toward Allah. Prayer is a question, a plea, a call. Prayer is a medium, an intercession between Allah and His servant. It is a means of connection between the mortal and the eternal. When a person raises the hands of supplication toward God, he feels himself lowly and humiliated, considers himself helpless, and his Creator as possessor of power, owner of reality, and self-sufficient. Then prayer comes into being. The person attains a feeling of rapture and spiritual delight. It grants peace to his soul and heart. The restlessness, anxiety, and uneasiness of the heart disappear. It bestows satisfaction and tranquility of heart at the station of love. It feels as if someone has heard the cry, has given support. Someone has held the hand. Now everything will be all right. This is the excellence of the state of prayer. Prayer is the very essence of human nature. Prayer is not related to any specific religion. It is nature itself. It is within man. Whenever the burden of life exceeds the limit, man feels within his heart the longing for prayer. In prayer, all true pleas are accepted. Allah, the Lord of the worlds, is the creator of all mankind. The methods and manners are different, but prayer is one. Everyone seeks help from his Lord, asks for refuge. When any person into such a calamity becomes afflicted, that from which a way out is not seen, in the world neither anyone who helps is seen, nor any support is obtained. Then he seeks help from this world and from the power outside this world, outside agency. This same is the person who his Creator with greater intensity remembers. He in his culture and religion according to, by different names, him remembers. There are countless ways of asking for prayer. Someone asks with voice. Someone while crying and sobbing makes request. Someone presents need in the world through the language of condition state. Someone through the language of speech words. In the extreme degrees of grief and calamity, the lifting of tear-filled eyes toward the sky is also prayer. Prayer, in its essence, is a state, condition. It is a virtue, a quality. This virtue is the fall, humbling, of the arrogant one. It is the temporary obedience of the self, ego. Even if only for a few moments, yet whenever it arises, prayer attains elevation, height. After praying, a person has hope of that prayer's acceptance. But it is often seen that some prayers apparently in the world do not attain the honor of acceptance, do not seem to be accepted. Now Allah is the one who says, I am the giver to the one who asks. Rather, He even feels pride in the one who supplicates. Then what is the reason that not every prayer appears to reach the stage of acceptance? That is, to get the answer to this question, we will have to reflect on this subject. Why do we say that our prayer was not accepted? It is clearly seen that in understanding prayer, usually there is some shortcoming in man. Otherwise, it becomes clear that prayer in its essence is man's communication with Allah. Prayer is to connect with Allah, to converse, to communicate. This is the basic principle of any system, that after expressing one's own word, the other's word should also be heard. But while praying, people generally completely forget this fact, that the question they asked, did Allah give its answer? Allah speaks to man. That is, in other words, listen. The meaning is that Allah gives man a reply. He responds. His prayer is accepted. But it is not the manner of Allah's majesty that He should talk to man as one person talks to another through voice. That is not befitting to the divine position. It is against the attribute of God's lordship. Allah speaks to ordinary man in His own language. He replies through signs. He answers within insight, within understanding, and within the depths of the heart. It is necessary that human with complete senses and consciousness and full attention with thought, understanding, having done from Allah prayer makes. In its opposite, This happens that times of prayer to a formality as performed being is. Such long-time prayer without anything thinking, understanding, only under routine asks being is. Allah me wealth give, my business expand give. These all their prayers are which very long-term plans of engraving do, which prayer asking one's mind and growing are. Objection, none, no doubt Allah accepting one is. But principle this should be that short-term prayer also certainly asked be, like in Fajr prayer before Zuhr, of some works happening prayer. Likewise in Isha prayer, morning of coming days issue about from Allah, help of plea very astonishing effects its acceptance and keeps. Remember that prayer asking after heedless not become should, rather every time alert remain should. Because Allah, this prayer's relevance by sign show does. If the duration of prayer is short, and a person regularly makes brief prayers 2 or 3 times a day, then there is 100% possibility that the fulfillment of those prayers can be seen as a sign from Allah. When it becomes clear that a prayer has been accepted, meaning that the prayer was made and it turned out to be truly beneficial for the person, then the result itself is the reality of that prayer's acceptance. At the time of praying, one should not think, if this prayer is better, then do it, otherwise don't. This is not right. To say, if it is better in the sight of truth, then do it, otherwise don't, is also not right. Such thinking shows weakness of faith. True faith means that one should first think carefully and with full reasoning, and then pray to Allah with complete certainty, believing that He alone has control over every means to make things happen. After a prayer has been made successfully, it is better for a person to perform Istikhāra, the prayer for seeking guidance. This Istikhāra is different from an ordinary supplication. Istikhāra is not merely asking, it is seeking consultation from Allah. By the way, there is only one true form of Istikhāra, and that is the one the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us. This prayer can be offered at night, preferably during the time of tahajjud, the late night prayer. One should offer 2 units, rakahs, of voluntary prayer with the intention of Istikhāra. Then in prostration say, O my Lord, the best for me is only that which is best in your sight. May Allah, the Exalted, decide accordingly. Istikhāra does what it does. It is never humiliated. Those people who think that some of their du'as are accepted and some are not, they should know that all du'as are accepted. It is the human's own imagination that he does not see the complete process of acceptance of du'a. There is no doubt in this matter that du'a changes destiny. Besides this, there is no worship or way by which a person himself can influence the written destiny upon him. It is only du'a which, if accepted, in the form of Allah the Lord of Glory being pleased, effects modification in a person's destiny according to that person's desire. This action is not visible. It is like nanotechnology. After the du'a is accepted, the ensuing conditions and events, that person's mental state and his surrounding characters are altered in extremely imperceptible ways. If the du'a is very powerful and reaches acceptance, then the times and circumstances of the asker, the whole environment, even the circle of life, also get changed.